digital economy is projected to contribute 25.5% to Malaysia's GDP by the year 2025, as revealed in our 12th Malaysia Plan, highlighting the importance of catalyzing and sustaining the high growth of our digital economy. On that note, I'm happy to announce today at Expo 2020 Dubai that the MSC Malaysia initiative, after 25 fruitful and successful years, will be further enhanced, renamed, and customized to fulfill the needs and wants of today's demand.
Invest in Malaysia, a diverse, digitally focused, future-ready nation. Southeast Asia's digital and cultural epicenter that gives easy access to regional markets and higher quality of life at a lower cost, primed with a dynamic digital ecosystem and future-proof infrastructure to welcome global investors. Join a robust digital economy with an upskilled workforce made up of an ethnically diverse community. Be part of our future-ready culture. Invest in Malaysia today.
I'm Farhana Sheikh and you're watching Notepad. I'm guest hosting for Ibrahim Sani today. And today we are at Expo Dubai, Expo 2020 Dubai, inside the Malaysian Pavilion. This week is the Malaysia's Digital Economy Week, where a lot of exhibitors, technology-based companies have been based here inside the Malaysia Pavilion, showcasing their expertise, their uniqueness, to attract foreign investors, to attract potential investors to Malaysia, and to position Malaysia as a digital hub in the future. So today with us, we have the CEO of Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, Mr. Mahadhir Aziz. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Mahadhir.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, we would like to explain to us a little bit further how this week has been for the Expo for MDEC.
I think it essentially is for Malaysia, for the companies that we have brought here, totaling more than 25 companies across the programs and coming from the programs that we have done over the years. And these are very mature companies. They are part of GAIN program that we believe are competent of being taken global. Second is that we have signed more than 15 MOUs between our companies and also their counterparts and partners, possible partners over here. And then we have reached close to 300 million ringgit investments and intent for investment. So all in all, I think in short, it's an extremely successful week for Malaysia, specifically for Digital Economy Week. I was also informed that this week, basically, we have the highest number of MOUs signed and exchanged, and also a number of meetings that we have had for potential partners to be gained by these companies.
That sure is impressive, considering that that's only been garnered for over a week. So this week specifically for Malaysia Digital Economy Week, it is to highlight, Malaysia's digital economy's capabilities, right? So I guess let's start from the basic here. Let's move back a little bit. In terms of Malaysia's digital economy journey as a whole, where are we in terms of the progress and from the ground up?
I think the past 25 years of Multimedia Super Corridor initiative by Malaysia itself, we have expanded basically a 0% contribution of digital economy or technology into the GDP, but now we are at 22.6% based on the current data in terms of the size of digital economy's contribution to GDP. We have targets that is a bit more ambitious than that, which is about 25%. And over the years, we actually have generated more than 300 billions of our business ringgit. We have created close to 200,000 jobs, specifically on digital and technology jobs. So again, the achievements that Malaysia has had is over 25 years. But then again, when you look at how we develop this, everything is cut short. So we have to accelerate, we have to keep up, we have to adapt based on the landscape of the economy and also the development of technologies as well.
I see. So talking about adapting and updating, it was just announced during the Malaysia Digital Economy Week, launching of the Malaysia Digital Economy Week, that MSC Malaysia will be rebranded to become Malaysia Digital. So in a promise to keep up with Malaysia's current needs digitally. So how important is this transformation and what can we expect?
I think the seriousness of Malaysia has to be shown and manifested in many aspects. We launched the Malaysia Digital Economy Blueprint early last year, or to be called My Digital. That is basically a collection of existing programs that we run for Malaysia, and it's very much inward-looking in terms of improving the visibility and also clarity in terms of the progress of Malaysia in developing projects towards digital economy. However, it requires a lot more clarity in terms of what it offers to the investors. So this is where Malaysia Digital comes into mind. The refresh is very important to show that we are also opening up. We are investor friendly. We are opening up to participation coming from investors from overseas to participate in new projects, catalytic projects, flagship projects where Malaysia believes that it will contribute and play a game-changing role in the development of the economy.
Now, during the announcement of the rebranding yesterday, so we talk about two flagship initiatives that was announced under Malaysia Digital. So there's the Rantau program, which is to position Malaysia as a digital nomad hub, and also the Malaysia Digital Trade program, which is to facilitate trade inside and also outside Malaysia. So walk us through the idea and vision behind these two programs.
Okay, one of the themes for Malaysia for 2022 is on the path of recovery. We have to let businesses recover. We have to let the rakyat actually benefit from all these things beyond stimulus packages. We have to allow the nation that has spent a lot of money to provide the stimulus packages to also recover some of the revenue. So two aspects, if you were to actually look at the Rantau as a program, that helps the tourism sector. That focuses and brings basically not just tourism, but through a digital placements of technopreneurs, of people who are working in digital world based on the proposition and the way, the mode that we currently operate, to be placed in those tourism sectors. So again, this is for foreign nomads and also domestic, local nomads, to be placed in all these places. It doesn't have to be beaches, it can be in the forest, rainforest, it can be areas across all states, across Malaysia, to be able to participate in this program. The other part is more about revenue generation for Malaysia and increase for Malaysia to recover some of the revenue and leakages that we have seen over the years. That looks at the ability of the country through LHDN and MOF to gain more revenue by a project on digital trade, which covers national e-invoicing. So it eases up how we actually do invoicing, submit invoices, and actually looks at a potential of about 2 billion ringgit of additional revenue once it is fully operable.
Coming back to the expo here today in Dubai, the companies that are here, mostly are technology related, like fintech, animation and all that. So how pertinent are they as building blocks to building a resilient digital economy landscape in Malaysia? And more so, how do we help them grow even further?
These companies are basically very mature companies, especially when you look at animation, which is what Malaysia is extremely strong at over the years. We are looking at slightly more emerging crossover industries between financial services and technology, which is fintech. And then we have emerging technologies in the form of drones, artificial intelligence, and also big data analytics. So this would be those companies that we believe can actually contribute to the creation of different kind of jobs, creation of new ecosystems in Malaysia, and the building of more companies similar to that looks at application of those technologies, blockchain, for example, NFTs, and what have you, that we haven't thought of at the moment. So again, it is about exposing Malaysian companies to these technologies and exposing these companies to at a global platform where they can show what Malaysia has done over the years despite the pandemic and over the development that we have done.
And I'm sure, like you said yesterday, it attracts, for Digital Economy Week alone, you said it attracts almost 300 million ringgit worth of potential investors, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, that's amazing. So, looking back, to a more somber news, I guess, with COVID-19 happening for the past 2 years, on a positive note, it has definitely accelerated the rapid expansion of technology and also digitalization. But coming back to, Malaysia as a whole, what are the gaps that needs to be addressed when it comes to digitalization, especially after COVID-19 has uncovered so many, underlying problems that we have in the country?
Yeah, I think what is obvious from the stimulus packages and the ability of us allowing us to shift and operate online was the lack of devices that some of the people, especially the students, have, and second was basically the lack of connectivity, quality connection, be it 3G, 4G, to be able to enjoy and experience work, to enjoy classes, and to be able to interact with people on the other side of the country. So those two would be something that the government is looking at. Intervention in terms of providing devices, intervention as in expanding the coverage of broadband across the nation through Jendela, and the focus for telcos to provide quality connectivity. Again, the Minister mentioned about internet connectivity being human rights. I think this is where it's pertinent that we bring all this to the Malaysians as well. Last but not least is very much on the ability to just use that. So we have some of these programs under MDEC that can look at Saya Digital, for example. That's the state of where we believe Malaysians should aspire to, where we can have people who are literate in using technology, people who can capitalize on technologies to create businesses, to increase their income, and to create new lines of human capital for technology.
So I guess moving on to Malaysia's agenda as a whole. If you notice today we are in the Malaysian Pavilion, which is a net zero carbon emission building. One of, I think the only one like that in this expo itself. So I guess drawing on to that, Malaysia has highlighted that sustainability is a key agenda in the 12 Malaysia Plan and also in Budget 2022. So, I mean, building on to that, how do we tie sustainability and digital economy together?
Okay, I think as we embark into the use of technology and all that, there's always the reverse effect of this. Cloud players, as we increase investment on cloud providers and we develop Malaysian cloud provider companies, we know that there's an effect to the environment. So when we build this, the programs that we have under My Digital will soon look at incorporating sustainability in us awarding the status, the same MSC status to now Malaysia Digital status to this company. So ESG is very big in MDEC's agenda. We are very much aligned with Malaysia's aspiration to be net zero by 2050. So we are extremely excited to be able to include sustainability agenda inside what we do across our companies that we provide the status.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a concern now with ESG standards, moving up, as we go, and globalization and all that as well. We have to avoid greenwashing, so companies have to be very serious about sustainability these days. So one of the main reasons for the expo is to showcase Malaysia's capabilities and opportunity for investment, right? So in terms of the digital economy front, how have we positioned ourselves to become the hub for digital economy and to attract all these foreign investments? Have we been, quite successful at it, and what more can we do?
We have been very successful, I think, for a good 15 years in terms of pushing multimedia super corridor agenda and bringing in the investments on technology, hence the numbers that we see today. However, I think for the past maybe 8 to 10 years is that the other countries around ASEAN region have leapfrogged us. Indonesia, obviously, Singapore, Thailand, and also Vietnam. We haven't counted the Philippines and things like that. So there are aspects of strengths coming from other nations that we have to look around and compare and benchmark ourselves against the offerings that Malaysia has, against what the others would have. Hence, I think the need for Malaysia Digital to come in as a refreshed, rebranded, repackaged MSC or MSC 2.0, that would be number one. I think the other part that we want to be able to look at is to collaborate with other nations. Competition is, to a certain level, we can do that, but actually look at the strengths of other nations and capitalize on that and work together, propose ASEAN to the rest, the China or India, or even Europe as well.
I see. I mean, touching on that specifically, here in Dubai Expo 2020, right? Our relations with the UAE, specifically on the digital economy front, how important is this alliance, and what more strategic alliances are MDEC looking to venture on in terms of digital economy?
UAE, specifically Dubai, has been a mainstay and a very strong trading partner of Malaysia, economically and both as a trading nation as well. So we look forward at tapping and exchanging ideas with what Dubai has done specifically in UAE, whether it's in Abu Dhabi or even Dubai, to look at some of the programs that they have done over here. They are very big in emerging technologies. They are also extremely adaptable in terms of looking at regulations that are impeding technology and innovation. So these are the things that we can look at. I was at Dubai Futures Foundation recently to look at some of the projects that they have done over there, and being able to actually exchange some of these ideas. Halal, for example, would be something that they look at Malaysia. So we can offer the expertise that we have, solutions, the framework on how to actually look at that. I think, if anything, Malaysia would be one of the leading countries as far as the halal topic is concerned.
I mean, there's definitely an overlap there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, I guess before we wrap up this session, tell us what's in the pipeline for MDEC, for 2022 and the years to come, I guess.
Well, I think immediately what we can think of is that Malaysia Digital would have to be detailed out. There would be steps that we have to go through with the government to get the cabinet papers approved for the details of the economic package, tax incentives and the likes. The other part is that the increase of new flagship projects. We target to actually announce this in second quarter of this year, and then detail out more flagship projects where more local participation, more local companies can participate while we bring in strategic investments to help digital economy grow even further and at a faster rate.
I see. So that's something that we definitely have to be on the lookout for. So there you have it, and a brief, I guess not so brief, overview of Malaysia's digital economy landscape and MDEC's role in supporting all this. We are here again at Expo 2020 Dubai during the Malaysia's Digital Economy Week to report on turning Malaysia, positioning Malaysia into a digital hub to attract more potential investors to come. So I'm reporting here from Dubai, from Expo 2020. I'm Farhana Sheikh. See you again.